time I'd like to make a video about the living universe, the notion that practically the entire universe is a living sentient organism. First, a short introduction from my blog.
The Living Universe, log of 25th of February 2015. The global situation is quite fragile. War in the Middle East, CIA and Mossad-funded ISIS goes fighting its terror campaign against all that oppose them. Why does ISIS never attack Israel? This is just not coincidental. For all I know, the Americans could be bombing the wrong targets. Everything that moves and has guns. So long as they rule, we as mankind will not know peace. War is not natural, and it's not in the nature of mankind to wage war. We are sacrificial lambs in their eyes. We are their food source. Our souls serve them. They consume our souls if they do not return home after we die. You have to believe in the source, God, or in Jesus Christ to be able to return home to the kingdom of heaven. That is what it is. Apart from the multidimensional universe you can travel, the universe is a living engineered structure. It has a lifespan as man has a lifespan. The universe is also multidimensional, but the outer crust, the material world, has a limited existence. The universe has a soul or higher dimensional aspect. All living entities that go extinct, as an example, exist on in the higher dimensions. According to my insight and knowledge, the material universe dies at the end. Then the soul of the universe goes back to the source with all its entities with it. We are the cells, and the universe is reborn in a new cycle. Again, all living entities that were created by God or subjects are forever stored in the eternal source or soul world. That is why the universe has a soul and gets reborn over and over again. The universe is resettled by entities from the soul world that manifest during the different time periods of the cycle of the universe. At the end of our time cycle in the universe, we are all active multiple dimensional beings. We will be immortal or transcend death. Because in this part of the cycle, all creatures or entities become also soul form. It is the raising of frequency of the whole universe. I believe the matter is then dissolved into energy, the so-called material transmutation. This death or transformation goes for all entities in the universe, planets, stars, galaxies, and biological life forms. They are all aware, conscious, or alive. As the universe incorporates all these mechanics of higher and lower frequencies, some galaxies raise their inner frequency and disappear for this material world. Planets and stars have also their cycles. Our black sun at the center of our galaxy is an energy conduit to the higher dimensions. It raises and lowers the frequency of its celestial bodies that are in orbit around the central black sun. As the whole universe is a construct of patterns and cycles, as is this Earth is revolving around the sun itself is revolving around the black sun at the center of our galaxy, and its frequency also changes as it moves around the black sun. That is what I believe. The universe is not old. It will still exist for a very long time before the returning to the source. Again, only the material universe will die or transform. All living organisms continue to exist in the other world. Up there, there's a kingdom, God and his family. According to the Vedas, there are over 500 million deities, and his people ruling over the universe. Right now, this planet will jump one or more dimensions. The world will raise its inner frequency and inhabit a new dimensional frequency. Those that can make the transmutation will survive and inhabit this new Earth after the global turning. According to Dr. Stephen Greer, very few people will attain this. Maybe 500 million according to my estimates or less. Again, death is not the end. It is a transformation, and for most of the people that leave their bodies here on Earth, paradise awaits. In this paradise, they will have their choice to be reborn in the new golden age of planet Earth. If they wish so, it will no longer be a mandatory. All those that need to learn certain lessons to come down and to have an insight or transformation will have to be reborn. But I believe that Judgment Day on Earth will mark the end of this learning process. Again, this was a battle for freedom by God, Jesus Christ, that was being kept captive by the whore of Babylon.
So I wrote this down some time ago, in February 2015, and I was thinking about it, that our material reality, our 3D-dimensional material reality, lower vibratory frequency-based dimension, is practically dual. There's birth and death. We are bounded by the reincarnational cycle that we have to leave our bodies after death. Comparable, this can be compared to celestial bodies like planet Earth, that is also a living sentient entity, Gaia, and it also has a life cycle, and the sun also has a life cycle. Many astronomers have observed practically that suns go supernova after some time and implode or destroy themselves in the process, but at the same time many new stars are born. So we just take this and go back and then believe that the entire universe is also bounded by physical laws. Now I'm talking of the dimensional plane, the material dimensional plane, that is vergänglich, that is that is that evolves and dies off. That it's a procedure, and that this dimensional universe, this frequency, it's this outer crust that we're living in, is practically can die and be reborn, whereas the spiritual part, the higher dimensional aspect of the universe and the planets, are eternal. So in this respect, the universe is eternal, but it goes through cycles of births, deaths and rebirths, at least the outer crust that is bounded by duality and by life and death, by birth and death. I tried to make this comprehensible in my short blog that I wrote there, and this dimension is really high density, and we are bounded by the physical laws here. We are born here and we die, but our soul is eternal. The same with the universe. The outer crust of the universe evolves and matures, and then goes through into many cycles, and then it is cast out, and the universe is practically re-energized and retransformed into energy that goes back into the source. That is how I see practically the death and rebirth of our universe, or planets, or stars, or even black suns. I believe in the center of our galaxy is a black sun, as the ancient Mesopotamian scriptures depict, and not a black hole. I believe that a black sun does have connection to the higher dimensions, so it's a gateway to the higher frequency dimensions, and it also influences the entire galactic plane. And in this influencing where it influences the entire galactic plane, it is in the frequency of the stars and planets. So there are practically times when Earth and its solar system can raise in vibratory frequency and go into the next dimension. That is just a part of a natural process. I believe that the universe is eternal, at least in soul form, and that all life forms and all biological organisms that exist within the universe are also eternal in the soul world, and that they can be reseeded and replanted every age or every cycle, every major cycle that goes multiple hundreds of millions of years, if not billions of years. So this earth, even if it grows and matures and eventually dies off in this process, it will continue existing in the other plane. And the ones that are in that process of going to the other world, the entire planet will then jump and go into the other world. That's why I see it at the end of the earth. This is just my video on the living universe, my insights, what I've thought about, and logical deduction, I believe, that it's so below, so above, that if you can look at the life down here and see how the life up there is, and that only the outer crust is goes with time and can evolve through time, and that the inner crust or the inner dimensions are eternal. That is, there's a higher dimensional aspect of this earth. As you have a soul, the earth has a soul and higher dimensional soul parts. In these higher dimensional planes, the earth is eternal and will continue existing throughout aeons and aeons and aeons. But in this outer material crust that we live in, this high vibratory frequency, this level of frequency dimensions, this dimensional, the density of this material reality is so high that we are separated from the Godhead, and in this separation there is the evolution or experiences can happen because we're separated from the Godhead. And that is how I see that also the universe is practically a multidimensional being, actually, that is aware of itself, and that it exists and keeps existing throughout aeons and times, but only that this dimensional frequency is evolving and dies off, but all other dimensional frequencies, the higher dimensional frequencies, are eternal. So the universe expands with the outbreeding of Brahma, and then implodes or goes back into the source when it's breathed back in. In the ancient Vedas it says that's the breathing out and the breathing in of the breath of God. And that is how the universe expands and then comes back together. That's how I see it. Well, this was my video on Alex and the Living Universe. My insights on how it could possibly be. Again, it is all about thinking and thinking and thinking and coming to an insight. I might be wrong on my estimates that this dimensional frequency is bounded by laws. Well, it is bounded by laws, but I could also be wrong. And nevertheless, I wanted to make a video on Alex and the Living Universe, and I hope you enjoyed it. Cheers!